Hey, everybody.
Close.
Thank you so much. Welcome to everyone here in Manhattan at Joe's Pub. And I want to do a shout out right now. Where's our camera? We've got a bunch, literally millions of people tuning in on Facebook Live from all around the world. So welcome them. We are here today for the launch of our very good friend Bob Roth's new book, Strength in Stillness, The Power of Transcendental Meditation.
We're all going to meditate now. Kidding.
This is an amazing book. It is very, very accessible. It is easy to read. Trust me, it is easy and it is engaging. It is not boring. It's kind of like meditation itself. And the topic literally is about two things Deb and I care a lot about, which is Transcendental Meditation and the David Lynch Foundation. Now, loads of people have endorsed the book. When you read the back cover, you're going to see it. But I want to read one out, which is from Ray Daly. I'm not sure if Ray is here tonight, but Ray...
Is he here? Hey, Ray.
G'day, Ray. How are you? Ray is one of the most successful businessmen in the world and an investor. What particularly is it? Is it hedge? What is it? Hedge fund. It's one of those hedge funds, yeah. Very, very successful businessman on a global scale. Now, this is what Ray had to say about Transcendental Meditation. It is the single most important reason for any success I have had in my life. He also says that Bob Roth's Strength in Stillness masterfully distills the essence of this technique so that anyone can understand how it works and why they should learn it. Thanks, Ray.
Now, Strength in Stillness is published by Simon & Schuster, and it went on sale this morning in the United States, and on Thursday it goes on sale all around the world. Yes, it's worth a clap. So the message is getting out there. But tonight we're celebrating Transcendental Meditation. We are celebrating Bob's book. And we're celebrating the amazing work that the David Lynch Foundation and TM organizations worldwide are doing to bring this simple, evidence-based meditation technique to the people who need it most. And this includes, and I don't know if there are any here tonight, veterans with post-traumatic stress, children attending high schools in high-crime neighborhoods, people who are battling opioid addiction, and women who are survivors of trauma and assault.
So, Bob, Deb and I met Bob about 7 years ago. We've been meditating for about 25 years. But about 7 years ago, our then 10-year-old son said he wanted to learn to meditate. And somehow, through friends, we heard about Bob, and Bob came over to initiate our son into meditation, which he still does, by the way. And when we met Bob, we got to know him really well. He used to drop in all the time to check in on Oscar. And we'd been meditating for years, 15, 17 years at that point. We decided to reinitiate because Bob is literally a rock star, and he makes meditation so simple, so easy, and so accessible to absolutely everybody. Anyway, meditation for Deb and I changed our lives. We're happier, we're healthier.
We look better?
Yeah, I was 5'4" before I meditated, that's all I'm saying. But tonight is going to be a very quick masterclass in Bob's book, just in case you don't read it. You will find out about what TM is, TM, Transcendental Meditation. You're going to hear that a lot tonight. Transcendental Meditation is and what it is not. We're also going to listen in on a conversation between Bob and our great friend Jerry Seinfeld, who is here tonight. Woo! You're going to meet a woman who has been healed through the work of the foundation, and also enjoy the great Grammy Award-winning classical guitarist Sharon Isbin. Now, let me just add, all of the proceeds, Bob's proceeds from the book, are going to be going 100%, are going to go to teaching TM to people in need for free. They will get it for free. So, for those of you watching at home, go tomorrow. You can buy it in the bookstores tomorrow, or you can go on Amazon.com right now. You can buy a book or buy many books. Great gift. I'm just saying it. But just know, when you do buy a book, you are helping people at risk learn to meditate. So go and buy lots of copies. Now, Bob was interviewed this morning on GMA, Good Morning America.
Did anyone see it?
He was
awesome.
He was
you're
awesome.
Going to see it again now.
George Stephanopoulos and Robin Roberts did the interview. Check it out. It's very good.
We are are here with Bob Roth. He is the meditation teacher to the stars. He's worked with Katy Perry, Michael J. Fox, Jerry Seinfeld, Hugh Jackman, and that is just to name
the two of you.
A few. Yes, the two of us. Thank you very much, Bob. You do know your audience, and you really got me excited. This was the greatest gift you gave me, George, when you introduced me to this man right here who has a new book, Strength in Stillness. Please welcome Bob Roth.
You gave me a gift. That's what we're going to talk about.
I know. There was a time that something was really crazy going on in the studio, and I was losing it. I look at George, and he was just so calm, and I said, I want some of that. And he said, it's you. And talk about meditation and how the analogy to an ocean.
Well, first of all, it's not me, it's the technique. The technique is what works, but I appreciate that. I like to use, when I describe transcendental meditation, I like to use the analogy of an ocean. We know that an ocean can be very turbulent on the surface, but by its nature, an ocean is very silent and calm at its depth. And the mind is the same. The surface of our mind is that active, gotta, monkey mind, all the millions of things we have to do. And every one of us has a desire. I like to have some inner calm. I like to have some inner equanimity, equilibrium. And the question is there such a thing as an inner? And if so, how do we get there? And transcendental meditation is a very simple, natural technique that gives effortless access to the stillness that lies within.
You keep using the word technique, and it's one of the things I like best about the book is it really captures your voice and the way you approach people. And I think a lot of people maybe watching at home might think, oh, transcendental meditation sounds like a religion. I'm never going to be able to quiet my mind down. But as you say, it's a technique.
How did you feel when you...
that's what I was like when you came in to me. I said, listen, I'm not sure this is going to work for me. I don't want all this metaphysical stuff, but I would love to learn how to find some peace, find some calm.
And that, I am by nature a very skeptical person. I love science, I love practicality. So in that way, you would think I'm not your typical meditation teacher, but I think that whole understanding of a typical meditation teacher needs to be brushed aside. We're talking in transcendental meditation, a medical tool that can just give anyone access, whether they believe in it or not. You can be 100% skeptical, and anyone can learn it, how to allow the active thinking mind to just access calm. And when that happens, your body, according to research, gains a profound state of rest.
And you say it's what the mind wants.
Yes. The nature of the mind, that's the interesting thing. There are many meditations, and I think many people, when they think of, oh, I could never do it, I could never clear my mind of thoughts. When I heard that, someone said, okay, Bob, clear your mind of thoughts. I said, all right, then I'll create peace in the Middle East right after that.
Really?
But in transcendental meditation, we just effortlessly access these deeper, quieter, calmer levels that are already there. And it happens effortlessly because the nature of the mind is to be drawn to something more satisfying. And inside, most satisfying.
But also, it's like to have no expectations. And everything in life, we have expectations and intention, but when we meditate, it's just the opposite. But one thing that people are very concerned about, time. The time, the amount of time. Does it have to be the 20 minutes?
There's a great thing. I told this story. A man came into the office with his 14-year-old son, and he was complaining. He said, oh, I want to do this, but 20 minutes twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Who has the time? And his son, who must have done the math, said, Dad, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. You don't have 40 minutes to take care of yourself? So it kind of shut him up, and he learned to meditate. And the thing is, you like it. You look forward to it. It's not hard work. How do you?
I actually think I think it creates time.
Yes.
I think if you invest the 40 minutes a day, you go through the rest of the 22 hours, whatever, 23 hours, feeling more calm, more focused, more connected to everyone around you, and that's invaluable.
It's who we are when we're not stressed. Stress is just, it like sticks to us. So you do this first thing in the morning, you get up 20 minutes earlier, and people say, are you kidding? I need my sleep. But
I know when you said that to me, I'm like, are you nuts?
But when you're getting up, you're getting more rest.
Yes, it's deeper than sleep. And so you do it first thing in the morning, and it's an investment. You're more resilient, you have more energy, more focus, you get things done faster, more efficiently, and you're enjoying it.
It calms you and energizes you at the same time.
Exactly.
It's the oddest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, give us a quick little quiet time.
Okay, so as I said, to learn transcendental meditation, it's taught in personal instruction, I wanted to say, one-to-one. I don't have the time to do that here, but the first thing that you have to do when you meditate is you close your eyes. There are many meditation techniques that tell you to push out thoughts. This isn't. So it's just the simplest thing. If you just close your eyes for a moment.
Everybody do that. Do that.
And then just know When you learn this technique, we will give you a mantra, which is a word or a sound, and teach you how to access the deepest level of your own being. And when you do that, your body gains profound rest and you come out energized. So you can open your eyes now, but just know that the simplicity of closing your eyes, then you learn this technique from a teacher and it can transform your life.
That is true. Bob, thanks for coming in.
He's offering for our crew here to do this for us, and we're so grateful. But you can bring it home with you because Strength and Stillness, it is out now, and we'll be right back.
Bob has been meditating for almost 50 years. He doesn't even look that old. Meditation. And for over 45 years, he's taught Transcendental Meditation to thousands of people. He's the CEO of the David Lynch Foundation, and he works very closely with Dr. John Hagelin, who's the National Director of the TM organization in the US, to help bring meditation to everyone in America who needs it. And let's face it, that is everyone in America. So please welcome the master meditator and our friend to the stage, Bob Roth.
Come on, Bob.
The Bob.
Thanks, buddy. Good.
Bob.
Before I start, I just want to thank everyone for coming this evening and all the people who are connecting all over the world. And I just want to make one point. I do appreciate the kind words that are given to me, but the fact of the matter is there are thousands and thousands and thousands of specially trained teachers of Transcendental Meditation all over the world who are doing the same work. They're just not in New York City where they have so many cool people. And so I am so grateful to all of them. They have been trained properly, and they are, and all of us together, really doing great things to make a better world. So I just wanted to thank all of them. And my book is actually dedicated to all teachers of Transcendental Meditation. Now, I have a question for you guys, because you're in, I get to interview them for a few minutes, and I love these two. In the book, you talk about how meditation allows you to sort of transition between the Hugh movie screen and the Hugh with a wonderful family. Talk about, and that stillness and seeing people, seeing the silence or the stillness that they have inside of themselves.
I think a lot of us have jobs, particularly in this city, but really our lives are busy. I was just thinking about you, Ray, like meditation would have come in really handy the last couple of days down there on Wall Street, but things can be very rocky, and for me, I can be going from a movie set or hosting the Oscars to I come home and there's a problem. The meditation twice a day feels like I'm never a problem at home. Just clearing up my own mistakes. Clearing up my own mistakes.
Picking up your socks.
That it's twice a day where I get to kind of go, I call it going home or becoming, just realigning with my true self. It feels simple, it feels effortless, and the nature of life is we put on masks, whether I'm a father or whether I'm an actor or it doesn't matter. Through life we put on various different masks, but twice a day I get to take those off, reacquaint myself, as you say, with the bottom of the ocean. And as George beautifully said, I feel that time gives me more time and more calm. It's like drawing back the bow. The meditation is the drawing back the bow so that during the day, whatever task it is, parenting, acting, doesn't matter, I just feel the energy is finer and I shoot the arrow straighter.
Mom,
Mom.
Wife, heading up foundation. Before that you were doing with adoption and you got all these wonderful awards in Australia?
I head up
but now it's
Adopt Change in Australia, which we address the global orphan crisis.
Yeah.
Lisa Fox.
Yes,
Lisa Fox.
but we are addressing the global orphan crisis, and let's face it, bringing this to that community. These kids and families have been traumatized by war, by abandonment, so that alone is such a great tool to bring to this community.
And So many questions to ask. The question I have is like with Oscar. Now, tell the story a little bit more about Oscar and how he's done it and then he hadn't done it for a while, but we know that he has a tool.
Well, can we
Their
just
son-
say that that's how we met Bob,
Yes.
was that our son Oscar had started on his own as a small child meditating. He'd sort of found it and he would just have these quiet moments. And then we wanted to formalize it, so I started asking around and someone said, you've got to meet Bob Roth. So Bob came to the house and pretty much hasn't left. He comes to us all the time, he checks in on Oscar and has been a part of Oscar's life and has become sort of a mentor to oversee his going forward with this. But backing that up, when our kids were little, we would meditate and they would sit in the room. We said, bring your pencils in, it's quiet time. And they'd sit there and draw and you'd think that they'd hate it. They're like, come on. But when they would be upset when the timer went off, because they just had that, they picked up on the energy that was in the room of just being connected to us and in that pure energy.
And they're both still actually over 12-year-old and 17-year-old. They still both in their own way now every day find a little moment by themselves. I mean, they would never say, well, Oscar meditates, but Ava would never say she's meditating. No, I'm not meditating. But she does find that quiet and that calm, and I think it's from that practice.
Yeah.
And I
when
also
they were
think
young.
it's a wonderful model for kids growing up, that they see their parents taking time out and prioritizing silence.
And
stillness.
ignoring them for 20 minutes.
Anyway, and I just have to say, these two have been so generous, so helpful, so kind, and really appreciate you coming here tonight. And you'll be back.
We'll be back.
Have fun. I'm gonna take my water.
46 years ago, right now, I was 21 years old, and I was on a course with 2,000 other people to become a teacher of Transcendental Meditation with a great physicist and scientist of consciousness, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And at that time, I remember when I came back from being a teacher, I'll pause here. My trajectory had been, I grew up in a very I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a very political family in the 1950s and 1960s in the San Francisco Bay Area. My family was so political that I knew at the time, I'm an independent now, that I was a Democrat before I knew I was Jewish. That's how we argued politics, we talked politics. I remember debates, should we be in Vietnam or not Vietnam? And that was my life. And I actually, in high school, had a column in my high school newspaper, which was entitled, so you'll know who I was, The Gripes of Roth. And it was just filled with the administration be doing this, and why isn't Johnson doing that? But it translated into a desire to make a better world. So I was working with I worked for Senator Bobby Kennedy in his presidential to get the presidential nomination. And I really wanted, wasn't interested in political party, I wanted to make a more just, fair world. You know, that people should have equal opportunity. What they do with that is their own doing, but they should be given equal opportunity. So I worked for Bobby Kennedy, and he was assassinated, and that was devastating to me. And I entered the University of California at Berkeley, don't hold this against me, in 1968, with the intention of becoming a lawyer and going on to become a US senator like Bobby Kennedy and change the world. I thought public policy was the way to change things. Berkeley, I wasn't a hippie and I wasn't a radical and I was just a guy from a suburban school who wanted to make a better world. And there was so much divisiveness in politics at the time, and my dad was a doctor. I thought, I'll never heal the nation with politics, so my mom was an educator. So I thought, okay, great. I'll do educational curriculum and I'll help kids at a young age. Along the way, stressed out of my mind, a friend said, you should learn Transcendental Meditation. And my first comment was, what? I had no idea what it was. I'm a skeptic. And he said, you don't have to believe in it. And I learned it because I was under a lot of pressure. And almost the first or second day after I learned it, I had the thought, not I want to get enlightened, was I want to teach this to inner city school kids. That was my first thought. And I became a teacher, and I taught for many, many years. And then I met the great filmmaker David Lynch. And I asked him one time when he wasn't paying attention, I said, sort of like when you're a kid and you ask your parents for the car, you know, when they're not really paying attention. And I said, David, we should start a foundation. And he said, fine. And I said, and we should call it the David Lynch Foundation. I think he said, uh-huh. And can I send out a press release? And he said, yeah. I probably editing something, not thinking anything would come of it, and sent out a press release, and 2 days later it was on the front page, or newspapers of about 1,500 newspapers. And he called me up and he said, what's a 501c3? To which I replied, I don't know. This was just an innocent desire to help, to bring a technique that is not religious, not philosophy. You can not believe in anything. It's a mental, mechanical process that just gives access to a field of stillness that lies within everyone. 10-year-old kids can do it. So we started a foundation, taught it all over the world, and today, meditation, transcendental meditation, it's on a whole nother level. We're working with the, and I'll be brief here because we want to get to Jerry Seinfeld, just starting, no. We're doing a program with the University of Chicago Crime Lab. Huge problems in Chicago with violence. And 2 years ago, the Crime Lab put out a request for proposal saying, can anybody in Chicago reduce violence and keep kids out of jail? And 220 organizations submitted proposals. They accepted 3. David Lynch Foundation was one of 3. They gave us $300,000 the first year. We implemented a very comprehensive program in 2 pilot program in 2 schools. The results were so significant. The next year they increased it to $1 million. And this year it's $2.6 million. Schools all over Chicago, and now we're looking to bring it to 4,000 kids in New York. So I am standing here. It's because I know many of you sort of like family. It's very moving for me. 46 years ago, sitting on a teacher training course, and now on this point where we could start talking about bringing a tool to help address the epidemic of toxic stress that is killing young people and adults, killing, through something, not some new highfalutin technology, but something that's as old as human beings. Old, and what are we doing? Accessing stillness, equanimity, and the whole transformation that comes from that. So what we're going to do now is, so I'm very grateful to everyone here. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you this little 90-second film of some of the work we're doing. And then Jerry Seinfeld, who needs no introduction, so I'm not going to introduce him, but he has been really instrumental in helping the David Lynch Foundation. So if we could see the video, and thank you again very much. I'll be right back.
It took me roughly 5 years to admit that I had PTSD. Transcendental meditation has taken the stress out of my life. It has made me relax. The anger's gone.
I didn't know I had post-traumatic stress. The first experience meditating with TM, my body got a chance to just really relax. And my self-esteem is a lot better than it's ever been in my entire life.
Meditation has significantly helped my recovery, and I think it should be taught in every rehab facility there is.
Transcendental meditation is the only proven form of meditation to reduce blood pressure. It affects the cortisol, the epinephrine. The whole system just relaxes.
When people start to meditate, they're doing things more effectively and more efficiently, and time seems to open up.
Real change for the good truly begins within.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Hi, Bob. Look at these nice little food things they gave you. Aren't you so happy? Just feed them. Give them some food. Right?
Absolutely.
Your little plates and your little cameras. All right. Have fun. Have fun.
Transcendental meditation, you started when?
1972. Maybe. It might have been 73. I don't remember exactly. I was a kid. I was 18 or 19. I was going to school at Oswego State.
We'll talk to the people out there too, not just me.
Well, it's supposed to be like we're talking.
We
No,
are.
this
Okay.
is we're talking like this. All right. Whatever. So, well, you know all this stuff. Yeah. So I started when I was a kid. And I'll tell you. Did I ever tell you the story? The first time I ever did TM.
No. Oh,
Really?
you did. No,
I think
you
I
did. You did.
First time
You were
I
up all
ever
night.
did it. So it was this little house in town in Oswego. Does anybody know what Oswego? Have you ever heard of Oswego? It's a little town on Lake Ontario, and there's a state school there, State University of New York. It's $1,300 a semester tuition, and that's why I went there. And it was really far from my parents' house, so I wouldn't have to say why I wasn't coming home that weekend. And anyway, so somebody, I really don't know how it started or how I went or why I thought I want to find out about this. You know what? I think I saw that thing with all the medical information. All the med schools had done all this study of it. And I think that intrigued me. So anyway, so I go there, I learned TM, and I still remember that guy, too, who gave me my mantra, and I had my little hanky and my orange and whatever the hell it is.
I'll explain that later.
And anyway, so I don't remember what time of day it was or what it was, but anyway, so I went back to the dorm, and I go, okay, let me do this. And I did it that afternoon, like it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I do the TM. It's just 20 minutes, and I had so much energy, I stayed up all night. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah.
All night. I mean, I had never napped. I had never rested for 18 years, you know. And this is the greatest rest that there is in the world. So anyway, that's how I started.
And now, fast forward, you were doing it once a day. Tell that story.
Well, then from that point, and
Yeah,
I
Seinfeld.
didn't understand the morning in TM. Now, how many people here have never done TM? Okay, a few. All right, so it's a thing that you do twice a day for energy and to calm yourself. But you saw the video. So I had never, I very quickly dropped the morning one. I go, just get out of bed. What am I resting for? Just get out of bed. This doesn't make sense. I'll do the afternoon one. This morning one is silly. And that's kind of what I did until a few years ago when Bob and I were talking. And usually what I would do is I would do the afternoon one, and if you're tired and you do a TM, you're probably going to fall asleep. So I would do that, and I'd fall asleep, and I would take like an hour, 45-minute nap most afternoons. Most comedians do this, you know, because we work at night. So I don't know, it's some other issue I was dealing with, and Bob asked me about my team. Are you doing the morning one? I go, no, I don't do that one. And then I started doing that one, and I went, oh, I was missing a piece of the puzzle. And then, and I'm 63 years old, I have a wife, I have 3 children, and I have 2 careers. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I have a TV show on Netflix. So I'm a little busy, and I get really, really tired because I love to work as hard as I can until I drop. And so I started doing the morning one, and sometimes I even will sneak in another smaller one in the day whenever I feel I need it. The way most people go for coffee, I drink a lot of coffee too, and then I would do a TM, and then I found I had a superpower that I didn't know I had.
Meaning?
Meaning, you know, you're New Yorkers, right? So you know what self-abuse is what you do. You work yourself, you socialize to death, you run to every stupid thing, every opening of every stupid painting or movie or whatever the hell you're interested in, and you just kill yourself. This is the New York experience, is let's kill ourselves, and maybe one of these things that we do we'll like. Maybe. And, you know, if you're batting 100, you're doing pretty good, because I'm not. So, I love this life. I love to live like that. I love having too much work, too many kids, too many social things my wife wants to do. But I like that. I like that. If you live here, you can't get enough. You just can't. Because there's a lot of other places you could be and be sane. But you're not going to those places. You want to be here and you want to be out of your mind. And I think it's the greatest life there is. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. If you don't have a technique to recover yourself, you're going to fall apart either physically, emotionally, health-wise, or just your work is going to suck. Because I don't care who you are, if you're tired when you do your work sucks. Okay, so that's why TM is the greatest tool for work. And that's when I meet New Yorkers or you know, people that are very, very into achieving. That's the way I talk to them about it. I go, forget whatever you think this is. Do you like to work hard? Do you want to kill it? Do you want to do great? You have to have this gun in your holster. You have to have it. Because you're an idiot. It's like ridiculous. It's like working without sleeping or eating. Like those are the main things you have, right? If you don't do TM, you have your night's sleep and food. That's all you have to give you energy. And exercise. If you exercise, that helps too. So anyways, that's what I have to say about it.
You've been very helpful with the foundation from the very beginning.
Thank you.
Your thoughts on that? Work of the foundation, bringing this to at-risk kids?
Oh yeah, the foundation's pretty amazing. I mean, the things that they're doing with kids and you know, the veterans and PTSD, the results are incredible with those things. That's like you know, another incredible level of this work that you've done and brought it to so many people. But you know, the hard thing about TM is there's nobody that won't benefit from it. So you're kind of like, you have to sell the whole world. Yeah. That's a little intimidating, isn't it?
No, I remember giving a talk to some medical doctors, and I said, well, the David Lynch Foundation is working with at-risk population. The guy said, 7.5 billion people.
Yeah, that means the world.
You got a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah.
A lot of work ahead of you. Well, I really appreciate you coming and doing this.
It's my pleasure.
Is there one question? Anybody in the audience?
Oh, we can do more than one.
Okay,
I
couple
like
questions.
questions.
Couple of questions.
It always takes one person to start it, and then it's like breaking an egg yolk. You just got to tap it with the fork. Yes, sir.
How did you meet Bobby Roth?
We met at the at Radio City, right?
Yeah.
So you must have invited me.
Yeah, 2009 at the Radio City Music Hall, we did our first fundraiser for the David Lynch Foundation, and Jerry came, and Howard Stern, and Paul and Ringo and others, and Jerry came, and I remember you were supposed to do 4 minutes. You probably don't remember this, and they weren't ready, and so they kept saying keep going on the little thing, and so Jerry did 11. But that was the first time we met.
This is not a good way to tell this story. Okay? That
you do it right.
Was an abortion. Okay? Here's what really happened.
I felt as I was telling it, it was dying.
Oh, that was horrible.
That
was just horrible. Okay.
Here's the story.
Here's what happened. And I've done TM in whatever fashion all these years. I love TM. I get the TM. We're doing a TM event at Radio City. Paul McCartney and Ringo are performing at Radio City. Okay, that's your headline. Paul McCartney and Ringo, the two surviving Beatles, are performing at Radio City. Would you like to perform with them? Yes, I would. I would like to do that. And it's for TM even better, but at the time, honestly, at the time, it was, I'm a kid. I'm 63, so in 1964, February 9th, 1964, I'm 10 years old. And the Beatles come on Ed Sullivan. If you're of a certain age, you know what that was. And to think from that point that someday you and this act will be on the same stage was absolutely the most exciting, that night was the most exciting night of my life. And then from there, and then Paul asked me to perform with him at the White House when he received the Gershwin Prize as a result of that. And that was even, more exciting. It was a different story. But anyway, so that's why I was there that night, to perform with the Beatles.
Other questions? Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir. Oh, Oren.
Hey, Jerry. Do you meditate in the same place, or do you meditate wherever you happen to be when you need to meditate?
Wherever I happen to be, I like to leave the room for some reason. If I wake in the bedroom, I like to leave and go in the living room. It doesn't really matter. I mean, anywhere, anytime, planes, cabs. I could do it right outside that door. It's so incredibly portable, adjustable, and they teach it to you. And Bob might not like me saying this. The 20 minutes twice a day. If I have 13 minutes, I'm doing 13 minutes. It doesn't matter. You do whatever. It's just pure oxygen. You ever see these NFL guys on the sideline with the oxygen? That's what it is. You take a moment out of your day, put that oxygen mask on, recover, calm down, and then go get them.
Prue?
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
So, how do you think we could spread TM around the world, and especially looking at some of the cultural barriers? I mean, we are New Yorkers, we know we can do it, but your thoughts on how we can, I feel like it should be available to everyone who, anyone, everyone.
I'll make it more, it should be more available. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, the David Lynch Foundation is now, it absolutely should be, and the David Lynch Foundation is now active in 35 countries. And we have large programs throughout Latin America, programs in Rona Abramson working with women's programs in Africa, and Buddhist schools in Cambodia. It's everywhere. This is not anything that has any religious obstacle to it. It's just, as Jerry was saying, just a simple tool. And we now are in conversations with the UN and IRC. So our desire is to make this everywhere. I have a desire. I'd like to teach 1 million Syrian refugees to meditate. I mean, why not? I'd like to do it. Last question.
Could meditation be learned online?
Could it be learned online? I don't think that would be the best way. It's probably possible.
Well, we've tried it, and it always, for 7,000 years, it's been taught one-to-one, and there is a certain power to just for that 1 hour. It takes about an hour a day over 4 consecutive days, and the first day is one-to-one. And the goal is not to water down the process. The intention is to increase the numbers of teachers. So every school's guidance counselor in every school should be a trained TM teacher. On military bases, in addition to their other training, they should have training to be able to teach a person to transcend. So and HR departments. So the desire is to really properly train and certify teachers so that it's a big problem we're facing, as we were saying. Stress, trauma, it's real. And I think people have been too casual about meditation. Well, you just, listen to do that app.
Right, there's an app, yeah.
Yeah, and there's no evidence to show that it really works. And this is a serious meditation that you get certified teacher to instruct you, and it can have a profound impact in your life. So rather than water it down with that, you can do follow-ups with online, but the instruction, there's something powerful, face-to-face, one-to-one. That's our experience. So one last question for Jerry. Okay.
Have you taught Larry David to do TM?
I'm not a TM teacher, so I haven't taught anyone. No, I don't. No, it's too late for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
tonight is a fundraiser when you're coming here, and when you paid to come here, and also the proceeds from my book. One of the key areas that we're working in is the area of women and children who are survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and also among veterans, post-traumatic stress disorder. I want to show you a short video of a woman who is an example of the power and the work that we're doing. And it's her, it sounds like a cliche, but when I saw this video, this is why I do what I do. So please watch this video.
I didn't really understand why this had happened to me, and no one would talk to me about it, not even my parents. I was molested when I was 11, and that pretty much, changed my whole life, and it ruined my relationship with my entire family because no one could deal with it. When you have that kind of trauma as a child, you don't really want to see yourself because, you're full of shame. I went through my middle school and high school feeling incredibly alone. I joined the Army early for that life experience. This is my unit, which is 10th Mountain Division. I really wanted to stay in forever. I wanted to make a career out of it, but after what happened, it wasn't possible. We were doing a field training exercise, and one morning, someone had accidentally dropped 2 artillery rounds on our unit. I was not even a few paces away from the meal tent, and everything just happened really quickly. Then the first person in line, he was killed. 2 soldiers were killed and 13 were injured. I was one of the injured. Yeah, so I had survivor's guilt for a long time, and it took me 15 years to look at it. When you deal with something like that, you spend your whole life dreading something bad to happen. So inside, I constantly had to deal with chest pain, chest tightness, overall feeling of dread. Although I went through therapy and I dealt with it, in therapy, those feelings never went away. I saw Transcendental Meditation. I was led to this for a reason. So I started doing meditation. Within 2 weeks, I no longer had those feelings of chest tightness and the chest pain. And that overall feeling of dread was gone. And I get really emotional when I talk about it because it's horrible to have that day in and day out because you're constantly looking for a trigger. You're constantly looking for something bad to happen, especially when you're in that kind of trauma, in the military. So, for that to have, gone away through TM, it's an amazing experience. I used to throw stuff at the wall, I used to yell, I used to cuss. The funny thing about my job is that they actually tell me at work, did you put your meditation in the schedule today? Because if I don't, they're, they know it works so well that they've really been great about it, which is awesome. Okay, Crystal's gonna say why TM has helped me. And this is my coworker.
Hi. She's 200% less bitchy now, thanks to TM.
TM for me is a great natural way to self-care. This is the best way for me to get close to that part of myself that no one else can get close to. Since I was 11 until now, I never really took a good look at myself. I've been able to have more self-awareness. Every time I do TM, I'm regaining more of that love that I was never given, because I'm able to give it to myself.
Melanie has come up from Atlanta, and she had some words written, but she decided she just wanted to speak from her heart.
Well, today I came to support Bob, and I just wanted to thank the David Lynch Foundation because TM has truly changed my life. thank everybody for being here because your contribution will truly help veterans. And there's many, many veterans like me out there who they would rather do drugs. They would rather do anything else than help themselves because they can't face, the terrible trauma. So TM is truly, truly, truly life-changing, and any contribution is truly amazing. So also women, victims of domestic violence, any of these really, as you heard from my story, it just causes so much trauma and it's so hard to deal with, but TM allows you to love yourself like nothing else. I want to thank my amazing TM teachers in Atlanta that have always been there for me. They're always there to answer questions, and I think that's amazing that they take so much time for us. And that's another reason why it is an expense, because they spend their whole life helping us, And so I just want to thank my TM Center there, and I want to thank, again, Bob for allowing me to tell my story and allowing me to be here. So I thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for anything that you're willing to do. Thank you.
Before we hear from the amazing Grammy Award-winning artist, guitarist Sharon Isbin, I'd like to take a moment and ask you and the people at home to make a contribution. Whatever it is, $5, whatever. We have a generous donor who's going to match every dollar that's given, and 100% of the proceeds will go to teaching Melanie's friends and women and children who don't. We're working to get reimbursed from the VA, and we're working to make this happen, but not yet. And so Melanie started because of the generosity of others. So let's just turn the lights on. Don't feel pressure, little. You can put on, you can either do a text to pledge. This won't, yeah, text to pledge on your, take out your cell phone. I can walk you through it. Or you can use the card on your program. They have a donation thing. And if you want to pull out your iPhone or your smartphone, then right there it says you can just dial that number. And at home, by the way, at home you have on your Facebook Live page, you can just click a button to give, and or else you can do this text. Now, when you fill this out, I want to reassure you, you're not contributing anything. You're just letting people know at this company that you're interested in talking with them about it. But open up your 646-762-4353, create a new text message, and then just type in your name or your company name, the amount of your pledge, and if you have a short message, and then you hit send. Again, this is not a commitment. You're not like, but this is your way to help. She's such a beautiful woman. Melanie and others. So you can, thank you very much. So this is, you have that. And before, just 1 second. Yeah. And
we have flowers for you. Hi, gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. Great to be you.
Love the earrings.
I just want to remind you, as we said, all Bob's proceeds are going back to the David Lynch Foundation, but the reason that he wanted to do the book in the first place, and this was a labor of love almost 50 years in the making, was to raise awareness of the benefits of TM and bring it to women like Melanie and to other at-risk children and adults. Deb and I are very proud. Deb and I are really proud to support the David Lynch Foundation and the work that it does, and we encourage you to join us in that if you can.
Yes. And I know it can be a bit of a hassle, but please just take one moment and you can really, truly help save lives. I'll say that again. 1 minute of your time to make a donation can literally save lives. And you've heard Melanie's story, and there are so many stories like Melanie's out there.
Thanks, Matt Hetherington, sitting over there. Well done. That's good. $50.
Kelly
Good on you.
Bean, thank you very much.
Thank you. Very good. So to close out this evening's celebration, I'm very, very, very excited to invite Sharon Isman to the stage to perform, and then Bob's going to return with a few final thoughts. So Sharon, if you don't know who Sharon is, acclaimed as the preeminent guitarist of our time, multiple Grammy Award winner Sharon Isman has been a soloist with 170 orchestras, made over 25 recordings, and given sold-out performances in the world's finest halls. Winner of the Toronto, Madrid, and Munich competitions, and Guitar Player's Best Classical Guitarist Award. She performed in Scorsese's Oscar-winning film The Departed. She performed at the White House by invitation of Barack Obama, and as the only classical artist at the 2010 Grammy Awards. She recently did these PBS performances. They've seen 200. She's done everything. She's won every award. She's amazing. She's also, thankfully, performed at the David Lynch Foundation benefits, including Carnegie Hall with Sting last June at the Kennedy Center. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sharon Isman. Thanks.
Have fun.
I'm really delighted to celebrate again Bob Roth and the David Lynch Foundation, who brings such incredible beauty and good to the world. This is a little melody of medleys from South America and Spain, which I'll play straight through to the end.
Perfect always. So we conclude before supper, and everyone on, I was going to say everyone is invited on Facebook, it's a stupid joke. One person I failed to properly introduce, and that is who's with us tonight, and that is His Excellency, the Honorable Joe Hockey. Okay. The Australian Ambassador to the United States and his wife, Melissa Babbage. This is going to take just a couple of minutes, but it's important to me to thank verbally people who are here tonight for the work that you've done. So just bear with me. First of all, Lisa Fox is the host of this evening and the heart and soul of this evening, and I love and appreciate you so much. And there's some flowers for you. And Jill Pangallo worked closely with you to make this happen, so we're very, very appreciative of Jill. Thank you, Hugh Jackman, Deborah Lee Furness, Jerry Seinfeld. That was really... And Jerry said, the great thing about Jerry is he said, we asked him, remember, Jill, we said, would you do some comedy? He said, no, I just want to talk about TM. And so we were going, And then he was like, can't stop being hysterical. Melanie, thank you so much for coming and sharing these things. Simon & Schuster, my publisher, could not, fabulous. Thank you very, very much. And that includes John Karp, Jofi Ferrari Adler, Terry Goldstein, and others, as well as my incredible agent, Albert Lee, and my brilliant... Who knew? And then collaborator Kevin Carr O'Leary, you're marvelous. I think people are just paid to do that. When you leave here tonight, and I'm sorry those of you who are watching this online, you're not going to receive, well, first of all, you're going to receive a copy of Strength and Stillness, Power of Transcendental Meditation, a gift from Simon & Schuster. But you're also going to receive from Carolyn Raffelian and Kate Richard and everyone at Alex and Ani, an amazing, amazing company whose purpose, they make this beautiful jewelry, whose whole purpose is to basically be successful and so they can give. And this company was started 13 years ago, and they have now, Carolyn and Alex and Ani, $50 million. And we are a wonderful, appreciative recipient of Carolyn and Alex and Ani, and we love you very, very much. And so I wanted to thank them. And you're going to get in your bag a gift, a bracelet or a necklace or something else I was supposed to say. A cufflinks? I don't know. A really nice gift. Thank you. I'm grateful to all the members of the board of directors of the David Lynch Foundation for their incredible generosity and support. And that includes, you can hold applause, that includes Rona Abramson and her amazingly wise husband, Jeffrey Abramson, who's like a member of the board emeritus, Mark Excelowitz, Vincent Argiro, Stephen Channon, David Ford, Aaron Grossman, Joni Kimberlin, a founding member of the board. Love and appreciate you very much. Miguel Kalajian, Jennifer Leahy, Joanna Plasky, also a founding member, and the great Orrin Snyder. I'm also thankful, I have another hour, no. I'm also thankful for the whole work of all the team of the David Lynch Foundation that put this on and puts on all these events. And I'm very grateful to Dr. Tony Nader, Dr. John Hagelin, and Dr. Bevan Morris, who head up the TM organization worldwide. And also, dear Dr. David Lynch, amazing human being. They call him Jimmy Stewart from Mars. They do. And Dr. Norman Rosenthal, who, along with Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, who's been, Norman, you've been a real driving force for everything. You're bearing with me. It'd be like the Oscars where they pull you off. And then my grandmother, and all the TM teachers all over the world who are watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, almost my favorite part of the evening. Tonight is the birthday of a very dear and beloved friend of mine, and that is Christina D'Alio. And Christina chose to celebrate, she'll never talk to me again, chose to celebrate her birthday tonight with her husband Paul, as well as with Ray and Barbara and Mark D'Alio. So to you, dear Christina, I wish you and your whole wonderful family a healthy, happy, and deeply fulfilling year ahead. I love you very much. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Make a wish.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Hey.
The cake looks awesome.
Happy birthday.
An amazing evening. Lisa Fox, again, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone connected all over the world. We will create a better world, one person at a time, groups of people creating even a peaceful influence by just groups alone. Thank you. And those of you who are here with us at Joe's Pub, there is Lisa, hand gesturing, supper upstairs. Thank you all, and see you upstairs. And go, go, go.
For the celebration master, who swept up in a moment of gratitude, reflect with the meditating eye. Alex and Donnie, what's your symbol right now?